History is shaped not just by people, but by the land itself. Mountains, deserts, and forests have divided civilizations and protected the vulnerable. In wild places, survival depends on understanding the earth beneath our feet. Geography and history are intertwined, a story of adaptation and resilience. Nowhere is this clearer than in Covadonga, northern Spain, in the early 8th century. Here, a small group faced overwhelming odds, not with numbers or weapons, but with the mountains. They knew every valley, cave, and slope, turning the land into their greatest weapon. Their knowledge transformed a place of refuge into a fortress, where nature itself joined the fight. The Christian fighters of Covadonga used their environment to outwit their enemies. Their small numbers became an advantage, their weakness a strength. Sheltered by the mountains, they defied an empire and changed history. This was more than a battle. It was a testament to the power of place. The Cantabrian mountains became silent warriors, shaping the destiny of those within their shadow. In the drama of survival, the landscape often plays a leading role. The story of Covadonga is a powerful reminder. Sometimes the land itself is the greatest ally. To understand Covadonga, we must look at the world that created it. In the early 8th century, the Visigothic kingdom of Iberia was weak and divided. Internal conflict left it vulnerable to the expanding Umayyad Caliphate. In 711, Umayyad forces crossed into Iberia, quickly defeating the fractured Visigothic army. City after city fell, Córdoba, Toledo, Zaragoza, while Christian nobles and citizens fled north. The Cantabrian mountains, steep and wild, became their last refuge. Here, Pelagius, a nobleman, gathered a small band of Asturians and Visigothic refugees. They refused to submit or pay taxes to the new rulers. The Umayyad governor, Munuza, dismissed this rebellion as a minor nuisance. He sent troops to crush it, expecting an easy victory, but he underestimated both the land and the determination of those who called it home. That mistake would change everything. The Cantabrian mountains are a formidable barrier, jagged peaks, deep valleys, and unpredictable weather. For invaders, this land is a maze of mists, cliffs, and forests. For locals, it's a fortress and a larder. Steep slopes and narrow valleys make large armies vulnerable. Caves and forests offer shelter and concealment. Pelagius and his followers knew every pass, cave, and stream. Their knowledge let them move unseen, strike quickly, and vanish. The mountains provided food, water, and safety, everything needed for a long resistance. For the Umayyad soldiers, used to open plains, these mountains were a nightmare. The land itself became an ally to the defenders. By controlling key passes, Pelagius ensured his people could survive and choose their battles. The mountains were more than a shield, they were the key to survival. In this wild terrain, the seeds of resistance took root. Pelagius knew he couldn't win a conventional battle. His only hope was to use the terrain to his advantage. He chose the narrow valley of Covadonga, a natural funnel with a sacred cave high on a cliff. His fighters hid on the slopes, not in the valley, waiting for the enemy. They stockpiled food, water, and weapons, and prepared traps of rocks and logs. Every movement was practiced, every position chosen for maximum effect. The cave became both command post and symbol of their cause. By drawing the Umayyad army deep into the mountains, Pelagius unsettled them. The cliffs, echoes, and sense of being watched played on the invaders' nerves. This was not a spontaneous stand, but a disciplined psychological campaign. The defenders' resolve was strengthened by the land and the meaning of their stand. The stage was set for a battle where the mountains would fight alongside them. The Umayyad commander, Al-Qamar, led his army into Covadonga, confident of victory. As they entered the narrowing valley, their numbers became a liability. The army stretched thin, cavalry useless, soldiers exposed. Suddenly, rocks, logs, and arrows rained down from above. Chaos erupted. There was no cover, no way to fight back. Pelagius led a charge from the cave, striking the head of the column. The Umayyad soldiers, trapped and attacked from all sides, panicked. Their discipline broke. Retreat turned to disaster. Fleeing soldiers collided with their own reinforcements in the bottlenecked valley. A landslide, perhaps triggered by the chaos, blocked the river and swept many away. Al-Qama was killed, and the Umayyad force shattered. Survivors fled, carrying news of a shocking defeat. The mountains had claimed victory for the defenders. The Umayyad force was routed. Pelagius's small band had won. The Umayyad governor, Munuza, fled and was killed by the Asturians. The region was now free of Umayyad control. Christian sources later called Covadonga a miraculous turning point. Muslim sources barely mentioned it. The truth lies between not a massive battle, but not insignificant. For the Umayyads, it was a minor setback in a vast empire. For Pelagius and his followers, it was monumental, a symbol of resistance. The kingdom of Asturias was born, a spark of independence in the mountains. This victory proved the Umayyads were not invincible. The survival of Asturias became the seed for future Christian expansion. Covadonga's true importance was keeping hope alive against all odds. Covadonga is more than history, it's a lesson in survival. Terrain awareness was the defenders' greatest advantage. Pelagius's men partnered with the land, turning geography into a weapon. Preparation and discipline made victory possible. Nothing was left to chance. Psychological resilience was key. They stood firm despite impossible odds. Their belief in their cause and their leader gave them strength. Survival is as much mental as physical. Pelagius forced the enemy to fight on his terms, using asymmetrical tactics. The underdog rewrote the rules, turning weakness into strength. Covadonga shows that when outmatched, don't play by your opponent's rules. Find a new game, one where your unique strengths shine. The story is a blueprint for overcoming adversity. The rocks of Covadonga still teach us how to endure. The Battle of Covadonga echoes through history as a testament to resilience. The mountains empowered a desperate band of refugees, turning them into victors. History is written not just in palaces, but in wild places. The lessons of Covadonga, knowing your environment, preparing, staying strong, and thinking creatively, apply to all of life. The Kingdom of Asturias, born from this defiance, became the foundation for Spain and Portugal. A tiny spark in a cave grew into a fire that reshaped a continent. Small beginnings, when nurtured by courage and strategy, can lead to greatness. The story encourages anyone facing insurmountable odds. Let us remember, the land can be our greatest ally, and survival is an art of adaptation. The spirit of Covadonga endures, written in the rocks and in us.